What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and yes, finally, after what, like a decade of trying, Netflix finally gets one of these live action adaptations of an anime correct, okay? They finally did a good job, and not just a good job, they did an excellent job with this, okay? This One Piece live action adaptation is absolutely phenomenal. I enjoyed it all the way through, okay? From beginning to end, it's great. Music's great. Acting is great. Directing is great. The storytelling that comes out of this is great. It's not the anime, okay? Let's get that straight right off the bat. It's not the anime. It definitely deviates in certain parts from the anime, but that doesn't take away from the story because it still captures everything that you want to capture from One Piece. The high seas swashbuckling adventure, got it, okay? Check, all right? The whole found friendship, okay? Finding new friends, check, okay? What else? The honoring your friends, okay? Loyalty to the crew, chasing your dreams. You know, what dreams do you have? Let's go out there and get them. You know, chasing your dreams, helping your friends find their dreams, you know, helping them chase their dreams. That kind of stuff. It's there, sacrificing for your friends, okay? People making sacrifices, you know, hard sacrifices for your friend. That's all here. It's all in there. It's the stuff you love about One Piece. If you love One Piece, if you like One Piece, you find everything you're looking for with this, okay? It's a 1000% appealing show. This show is designed to appeal to everybody across the board. And the biggest thing to me is it's very bingeable, okay? It's very bingeable. I whipped right through this thing, okay? I went right through this thing probably, I don't know, maybe like took maybe one small break for a couple of hours just to kind of do something else. And then I was right back on it, you know? And that's what you want. You want a bingeable show that everybody wants to come back to, a world that everybody wants to visit again and again and again. That's how you know that you have a successful series, you know, because people are like, oh man, I want to watch that show again. And there's no breaks. Like, this is 8 episodes of just solid storytelling. There's no episodes that they take off, okay? Every episode has something in it. It's building upon all of these relationships, these characters. You know, the flashback sequences are done excellently, all right? Because, you know, One Piece had a lot of flashbacks to the characters when they were younger. You know, I'm going to get into some spoilers in a minute, but let me just say that right off the bat. If you haven't watched it, or if you were, you know, a little nervous about it, don't be. Don't be. I think that you will enjoy this. Once again, you got 96% score on Rotten Tomatoes, all right? Top critics 62, all critics say, you know, whatever. I think that the more this thing gets reviewed, because only 13 top critics reviewed it, only 40 total reviews, I think the score will actually come up because there's really nothing to not like about this. You know, like I said, there's a lot in it, and you know, the audience has already responded. 10,000 ratings, 96%. It doesn't get better than that. I think Netflix has the formula right now. And to me, the formula is you got to bring back the original creator, and you got to say, hey, original creator, come on in here, have a seat, tell us what we doing right, tell us what we doing wrong, make sure that we don't screw this up, okay? Ichiro Oda was on board from the very beginning. You're not messing my shit up, okay? You gonna get One Piece damn right. You gonna get it right. And that's what Oda did. And he was ixnaying, nah, we got to come back and change this and change that, all right? It ain't this crap over here. Y'all remember this? Cowboy Bebop creator couldn't bear watching the adaptation of his own work, all right? He couldn't even get past it, right? Watanabe. Yeah, Shinichiro Watanabe couldn't even make it past the opening scene in Cowboy Bebop. That tells you everything you need to know. You need to be on set every day, all right? Or they need to run them dailies past you if you're the creator. Hey, no, bring me that. No, we can't do that. Take it back to the drawing board. Reshoot. Okay? And apparently they did a ton of reshoots when it came to One Piece because he was like, that's not going to work. Get everybody back in here. We're doing this again. Netflix clearly got the message. We are tired of spending all of this money on stuff like Cowboy Bebop only for like the damn creator to say, I couldn't even watch it, you know? And Ichiro Oda, he was smart. He said, nah. We're going to make sure that One Piece is done correctly. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we start off obviously with the first scene of Luffy and Kobe meeting each other on Alvida's ship. And listen, this is excellently done. And Alvida's character I thought was really good as well. You know, not as menacing as the anime, but definitely good. But yeah, there's a lot to dig into here. I mean, these characters, they really did a good job Alvida looks great. Okay, this is a great looking Alvida. I didn't have a problem with the character at all. I thought this Luffy is a different Luffy. Okay, I said before that Luffy is a little bit more zany than the one that I was seeing in that trainer, but I mean, nevertheless, it's still a good Luffy. He's still solid. I enjoy what they did with the character. I think he fits. It's not the same. Okay, it's definitely not the same as Luffy, but he's definitely solid. Now, Luffy's powers, the stretchy powers, you know, you can see it right here being displayed. Sometimes it looks good. I think this actually looks okay. Sometimes it doesn't look good. You know, sometimes it's like, yeah, I don't know about that. It was always going to be hard to pull off because One Piece is that kind of a, you know, story, you know, and Luffy is that kind of a character. It's going to be hard for him to pull all of this stuff off. Nevertheless, I thought that some of this looked pretty good, so I wasn't too upset about any of this. And then these kind of moments right here with Luffy obviously doing the gum pistol. I mean, all of that is just phenomenally. I absolutely enjoy like those moments. You know, you want to see Luffy being himself, getting into his power, you know, smile on his face all the time. Again, it's a different Luffy though. There's more seriousness to this Luffy than you would have saw in the anime, but nevertheless, it works. And then we get the intro to Zorro, which I thought was actually pretty good. It's not in the anime, it's not in the manga. This is not the way he's introduced. The first time we meet him in the manga and in the anime is he's tied up in Morgan's yard, right? So I actually thought that this was actually a very interesting way of presenting this character. You know, he's lighting candles. He's out there in this like shrine kind of area, lighting some candles for apparently Quina. And it kind of gives you kind of a sneak peek like, well, who's he lighting these candles for? You know, kind of stirs the mind, makes you start thinking about this character and what's going on with them. This is the stuff I mean when I say there's no wasted moment. They use this information to kind of set up and, you know, kind of give you a prelude to what is to come. This is the kind of good writing that Star Wars and you know, Ahsoka and all that, they don't do this stuff, okay? They don't do this kind of stuff. They just give you flat scenes and then just move on with it. But yeah, he's sitting out here lighting these candles and then he gets approached by this guy from Baroque Works, right? And he's like, yeah, I ain't about that life. I'm not trying to do that. I got my own thing going on, okay? And then the two of them get into kind of a little sword fight or whatever. And then you get to see, you know, Zorro show off his skills, slices the dude in half. I thought, again, this is an excellent way to introduce a character. And, you know, if you never saw this before, you would be wondering, well, is this guy going to be friend or foe? You know, what's up with this guy? It'll be interesting to see where his story goes, you know? So I thought that this was a good intro for Zorro. As far as the character concerned, overall, he's a decent character. Not bad at all. He's definitely more subdued in the live action than he is in the anime. In the anime, he's more comedic. He's more like the life of the party. Like, he's fun, you know? Here, he's just kind of like sullen, but it still works, okay? It's not what I would have did, but it still works in terms of this story. I mentioned the flashbacks are really done well. The flashbacks with Luffy and Shanks, I thought were really done well. Shanks nailed. They nailed this actor. He nails the part of Shanks. I thought that this was a good casting job right here. And then everything that's going on with Luffy, obviously him coming into his powers, eating the gum fruit and everything. I thought that that was done very well. You know, all of this is done perfectly. You know, all of the flashback scenes, everything that happens when it comes to Luffy, when it comes to Zorro, when it comes to Usopp and Nami, all of that is just perfect. I mean, like I said, having Oda on set absolutely changed the game. And then, yeah, and even the character of Kobe, I thought was a slight improvement, okay? He's more serious. He's less comedic, okay? They don't have him crying as much, okay? Remember, Kobe was crying like every other episode. You look at him wrong, Kobe's crying. But in this, I thought that they actually did a good job. And they give him more of a story arc, okay? So he's not just kind of sitting around doing nothing. I mean, this guy actually has a really good, interesting story arc for himself. So I'm interested to see what they do with Kobe's character as they continue forward. Then we get the character of Nami, who was also introduced earlier than she is in the anime or the manga. But listen, this actress, this woman playing Nami, nails it, okay? She nails the character of Nami. This is probably my second favorite casting choice, or the second best job somebody did portraying the character. She nailed it, okay? I absolutely love this version with Nami in it. Again, if you've watched One Piece, this is Nami. She portrays the character, her attitude, her, her dreams, everything like that. It all comes through so well. The flashbacks of Nami are excellent as well. Like, they really nailed this character. And then the friendship of Luffy and Nami, which you guys know is a very important thing when it comes to the One Piece saga. Their friendship it gets off to the perfect start. Okay, it really does. So hats off to whoever cast this young actress. I believe her name is Emily Rudd or something like that. Whoever cast this actress, you deserve a raise, okay, because she absolutely nails Nami. This opening fight scene right here in this very first episode, all of this stuff was phenomenal. I really enjoyed the way that they brought out the choreography and everything, and then brought these three characters together. And again, this isn't from the manga, this isn't from the anime, but again, I liked what they did. They absolutely nailed this. Okay, again, this is what I'm saying. Like, they did the job. They adapted this story. They didn't do a shot for shot, like for like. They just adapted this, excellently. I shouldn't say perfectly because there are some issues, but just exactly what you would want from a One Piece adaptation. Did the job. Now, in terms of the character that I think they absolutely did the best job with is this dude, Buggy, okay? And I remember saying this from the trailer that Buggy looked great. I don't know what more you want out of Buggy, all right? He looks absolutely phenomenal as Buggy. The actor that played him, Jeff Ward, I believe his name is, did a great job, knocked it right on out of the park. This character is the best in this live action by far, and it's not even close. And they even got his powers. They even did his powers right. Yeah, I mean, they absolutely nailed it with the powers. Again, this looks great. Like, you don't expect, Buggy to come out looking so phenomenal when you think about the anime, and it's like, oh man, yeah, Buggy's kind of a wild character. But yeah, they got it done, You got to give these guys credit when credit is due, okay? We rip on these people all the time. Oh, Hollywood don't know this, that, and the third, okay? Anime's just wiping the floor. But listen, they nailed it, okay? They nailed it in terms of this adaptation. It looks phenomenal. And then they even nailed, like, the smaller portions of this stuff. Like, even the details of, Lil Buggy. They got it right. You just got to give them credit where credit is due. Now, when we get to Usopp and we get to the Syrup Village arc, I was kind of disappointed. That was like the one little bit of disappointment that I had because they didn't have the Usopp Pirates. How you gonna have the Syrup Village arc and not have the Usopp Pirates? What's going on here? Okay, but I guess maybe they couldn't keep them little kids in there. Usopp's fine, all right. Usopp's fine. Kuro is fine, all right. I think all of this stuff worked. I just wanted my Usopp Pirates. But yeah, the intro, all of the things that they did with Usopp, the character is fine. Coward, scary, telling lies, all of that, perfect, okay? They got all of that right, And this arc actually, I love this arc in the anime. It's not done justice, in my opinion. It's just not done justice here. But it's fine. It's fine. It's not a negative. Okay, it's just not as good as the arc is in the anime. The animated arc is great. This is just like, meh, all right. And then, of course, the last main character that they introduce is Sanji over at the Baratier, and it was good too. I didn't like this arc either, but I thought that the Zeph, that stuff that they did with him and Zeph, his flashback, I enjoyed that. I thought that was well done. I thought that was actually like one of my favorite parts of the 8 episodes is the stuff that they did with him and Zeph. It's not in this episode. I think it's the following episode, but nevertheless, great job, man. Great job by Netflix. And, as far as a overall score, I would give this a 9. Okay. I would give this a solid 9 out of 10 overall for the One Piece adaptation live action. They skipped around. They did some stuff differently. It ends on the Arlong Park arc, if you aren't familiar with that. It's one of the best arcs, in my opinion, in anime, period. And it finishes on that arc, but they made a lot of slight alterations to it. So when you get to the most famous scene, probably the most famous scene in One Piece, the scene that made like almost everybody a One Piece fan, it's Nami crying on the ground, stabbing herself in her Arlong tattoo, and then, Luffy grabbing her arm, like, what's going on here? This scene right here is what, like, showed the friendship of the characters and how much each of them meant to each other. And I thought they got it, they did the scene, but you know, Luffy giving up the straw hat, you know, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. The emotion was so different in the anime. This is fine. Don't get twisted. This is fine. The anime is like 10 times better, you know? And then obviously, you know, the famous walk to Arlong's Park. All of that stuff was it's not the way it's done in the anime. In the anime, to me, that is what makes One Piece fans, in my opinion, because these guys all came to bat for Nami. And it's one of the best moments, though, one of the best moments in this series. And, you know, I felt like they did a good job. It was okay. It's fine. Not necessarily a negative, but it's not a positive. They didn't take it to where they didn't at least match what the anime did. Let me put it that way. Anyway, folks, I've been talking way too long. I suggest everybody rush out to see One Piece. Again, getting a great score on Rotten Tomatoes, 96% audience score. That tells you everything you need to know about what they did. They did the job finally, after all this time. You know, they finally nail an anime and do it justice. You guys let me know what you think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.